Busch Stadium, also referred to informally as New Busch Stadium, or Busch Stadium III, is a baseball park located in St. Louis, Missouri, and the home of the St. Louis Cardinals, the city's Major League Baseball franchise. The stadium has a seating capacity of 43,975, and contains 3,706 club seats and 61 luxury suites. It replaced Busch Memorial Stadium and occupies a portion of that stadium's former footprint. A commercial area, dubbed Ballpark Village, was built adjacent to the stadium over the remainder of the former stadium's footprint. The stadium opened on April 4, 2006 with an exhibition between the minor league Memphis Redbirds and Springfield Cardinals, both affiliates of the St. Louis Cardinals, which Springfield won 5-3 with right-hander Mike Parisi recording the first win. The first official Major League game occurred on April 10, 2006 as the Cardinals defeated the Milwaukee Brewers 6-4 behind an Albert Pujols home run and winning pitcher Mark Mulder. The highest attendance for a sports event was on May 23, 2013, when 48,263 people watched Chelsea Football Club and Manchester City Football Club play a friendly match. The stadium is the third stadium in St. Louis to carry the name Busch Stadium. Sportsman's Park was renamed Busch Stadium in 1953, after team owner Gussie Busch. The first Busch Stadium closed in 1966 and both the baseball Cardinals, and the National Football League's team of the same name moved to a new multi-purpose stadium, named Busch Memorial Stadium. However, the current stadium is actually a corporate name and named after Anheuser-Busch, not Gussie Busch. The naming rights deal was signed in 2004 and would extend from the stadium's opening in 2006 until 2026. History. Planning. In 1995, St. Louis Cardinals team ownership began to lobby for a new ballpark in downtown St. Louis, but the team was unable to acquire funding for the project for several years. In June 2001, the Missouri state government signed a contract with the team, proposing a ballpark in downtown St. Louis, but a subsequent funding bill was struck down in May 2002, leaving the saga open. Team owners sought a location near Madison, Illinois, adjacent to Gateway International Raceway, until the city of St. Louis drafted a financing plan for the team to construct the new stadium in downtown St. Louis. The stadium was financed through private bonds, bank loans, a long-term loan from St. Louis County, and money from the team owners. The development, including the Ballpark Village, was projected to cost approximately $665 million, with the stadium alone costing $365 million. Construction and opening. New Busch Stadium was designed by Populous and built by Hunt Construction with an estimated cost of $344.8 million, which proved too low by $20.2 million to its final cost of $365 million. Populous senior project designer for Busch Stadium was Jim Chibnall, who was also the lead designer of Progressive Field in Cleveland, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Sydney Olympic Stadium and other notable stadiums throughout the world. A field level, terrace level, and bleachers were completed in time for opening day, with total capacity on that day of 37,962, not including up to 2,751 standing room tickets. An integrated LED video and scoring system from Daktronics was installed in the stadium prior to its opening, featuring a video display measuring 32 feet high by 52 feet wide and 3 message displays, as well as more than 100 feet of digital ribbon board technology. Construction on the seating area was completed in late May, increasing the capacity for the May 29, 2006 game versus the Houston Astros, with finishing touches performed throughout the year. Including all 2,886 standing room-only tickets for the general public and the suites and party rooms, the stadium's total capacity is 46,861. Natural grass turf was installed in March 2006. Notable baseball events: in the stadium's debut season, every Cardinal game was sold out, giving a total attendance of 3,407,104 for the season, the second largest in team history, but since surpassed in both 2007 and 2008. Playoffs. 2006, in the first season of the new stadium, the Cardinals beat the Detroit Tigers in 5 games to capture their 10th World Series title. 2009, Busch Stadium hosted only one postseason game in 2009, a 5-1 loss versus the Los Angeles Dodgers on October 10, to complete a sweep of the Cardinals. 2011, in 2011, Busch Stadium hosted 2 postseason games in the National League Division Series versus the Philadelphia Phillies. On October 4, the Phillies won 3-2, to take a 2-1 game lead over the Cardinals. The next night, the 5th, the Cardinals beat the Phillies 5-3 to tie the series at 2 games apiece. In the NLCS versus the Milwaukee Brewers, the Cardinals won 2 of the 3 games they played at home. The Cards ended up winning the series on the road in Milwaukee to advance to the World Series. Because the National League had won the 2011 MLB All-Star Game, home field advantage went to the Cardinals as the National League champions, thus allowing the team to host the Texas Rangers for Games 1, 2, 6 and 7. Game 1 was won by the Cardinals on October 19, along with Game 6 on October 27, in a Game 1 in walk-off fashion by a David Freese home run, then the deciding Game 7, which was taken by the Cardinals in a 6-2 final, giving the team the 2011 World Series title. 2012, Busch Stadium hosted 2 postseason games versus the Washington Nationals in the 2012 National League Division Series. The 2 teams split the 2 games at Busch, before the Cardinals won 2 of the next 3 games at Nationals Park. The Cardinals then won the first 2 home games against the San Francisco Giants to take a 3-1 series lead, but lost Game 5 and went on to lose the series in Game 7 at AT&T Park. 2013, the Cardinals hosted 9 postseason games at Busch Stadium in 2013. In the National League Division Series, they won Games 1 and 5 against the Pittsburgh Pirates, with the latter game capping off a series comeback after trailing 2-1. They would win every home game of the NLCS against the Dodgers, including a 9-0 shutout win in Game 6 to take the series 4-2. In the World Series, the Cardinals hosted Games 3-5 against the Boston Red Sox. Game 3 on October 26 ended in an obstruction call when Alan Craig was impeded by Will Middlebrooks at third base, thus awarding him a run after umpire Jim Joyce ruled obstruction on the play. The next night Game 4 ended on a successful pickoff by Koji Uehara on pinch runner Colton Wong at first base. The Cardinals led 2-1 after the controversial Game 3 win, but proceeded to lose the next 3 games to lose the series 4-2. MLB All-Star Game The stadium hosted the 2009 Major League Baseball All-Star Game on July 14, 2009. The American League defeated the National League in that game, 4-3. Tampa Bay Rays outfielder Carl Crawford won MVP. President Barack Obama threw out the ceremonial first pitch wearing a Chicago White Sox jacket. College and high school baseball Missouri has recently started to play 1 game a year at Busch. In 2009, they defeated SLU, and in 2010, they defeated Illinois in a bragging rights matchup. The Cardinals have allowed local high school teams to play each other on the field following select weekend afternoon games. So far, the only home run hit by a high school student was on May 7, 2011 by Johnny Wilson of Marquette Catholic High School against Farmington High School. Other sports. College football Southern Illinois University Carbondale and Southeast Missouri State played each other in the first ever football game at Busch Stadium on September 21, 2013 in front of a crowd of 14,618. Professional soccer Busch Stadium hosted a friendly on May 23, 2013 between Manchester City and Chelsea of the English Premier League. Tickets for the match sold out within 20 minutes of going on sale, and Manchester City won 4-3 in front of an enthusiastic standing room crowd of 48,263. Later that year on November 18, Busch hosted a friendly between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Argentina. Before a crowd of more than 30,000, many of which were members of St. Louis' large Bosniak community, Argentina beat Bosnia by a score of 2-0, with Sergio Aguirre scoring both goals. On April 4, 2015, the United States women's national soccer team defeated New Zealand 4-0 in front of over 35,000 fans, the largest standalone crowd for a USWNT friendly in history. On November 13, 2015, the United States men's national soccer team will play St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the first match of the fourth round of qualifiers for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Concerts. On June 7, 2008, the stadium hosted its first ever concert, with Dave Matthews Band playing to a crowd of approximately 35,000, with the Black Crowes as their opening act. The show was recorded and later released as a live album, entitled Live Tracks Volume 13. On June 24, 2010, the stadium again hosted a concert, with the Eagles headlining a show, along with the Dixie Chicks. On July 17, 2011, the stadium hosted its third concert, When U2 Came to Town during their 360-degree tour. Fred Bird Store. The ballpark features a make-your-own mascot store for the Cardinals mascot, Fred Bird. Features. Design. Whereas the old stadium was a fully enclosed cookie-cutter facility similar to Riverfront, Veterans, Three Rivers and Atlanta Fulton County stadiums, the new stadium is similar to the many other Populous-designed retro classic fields. Like all those, it offers a panoramic view of the downtown skyline. The Gate 3 entrance on the west side of the stadium is most iconic, with a large bridge resembling the Eds Bridge arching over the entrance. The exterior of the stadium contains historical plaques of Cardinals logos, the STL insignia and a Busch Stadium logo behind home plate. Statues. Outside the Gate 3 entrance stands a bronze statue of Cardinals legend Stan the Man Musial. Other Cardinals statues that previously surrounded Busch Memorial Stadium are now displayed at the corner of Clark and 8th Streets, outside the Cardinals team store. The statues are of former Cardinal players and Hall of Fame inductees Enos Slaughter, Dizzy Dean, Rogers Hornsby, Red Schoendienst, Lou Brock, Bob Gibson and Ozzie Smith. Former St. Louis Browns player and Hall of Fame inductee George Sisler. Former Negro League St. Louis Stars player and Hall of Fame inductee Cool Papa Bell. And former Cardinals radio broadcaster and Hall of Fame honoree Jack Buck. Concessions. Fans at the stadium have access to a large amount of food and drink options, ranging from standard ballpark fare like bratwurst, nachos and peanuts to St. Louis area favorites such as pork steak sandwiches and toasted ravioli. Budweiser holds the beer contract for the stadium as one would expect, but most recently the smaller St. Louis brewery has been making inroads, selling Schlafly beer in bottles at a growing number of concession stands. Tickets for 5 all-inclusive areas are sold on a single-game basis, with amenities running the gamut from the ritzy Champions Club to the more family-oriented scoreboard patio. Cardinal management also allows outside food and drink. As a result, it is not uncommon to see vendors selling discounted bags of peanuts and bottles of soda and water, or even scalpers including a box of Cracker Jack with tickets. Press accommodations. After St. Louis Post-Dispatch sports writer Rick Hummel was honored with the J.G. Taylor Spink Award and induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in 2007, the Cardinals renamed the stadium's press box the Bob Brogg Rick Hummel Press Box, honoring the 2 local writers enshrined in Cooperstown. Ballpark Village. Ballpark Village is a multi-phase residential and entertainment complex located on the site of the former Busch Memorial Stadium across the street from the new ballpark. Despite several years of delays, groundbreaking occurred in February 2013 and the first phase was completed in time for opening day 2014. Other modifications. During a weather incident during a July 2006 game versus the Atlanta Braves, portable concession stands were knocked over, the infield rain tarp was damaged, and plastic sheets used to protect the press box were dislodged. As a result of the storm, at least 30 spectators were injured, of whom 5 were taken to the hospital. After the storm happened, the stadium designated shelter areas for such disasters which are located throughout the ballpark. Following Juan Encarnacion-Cuben's face injury on August 31, 2007, workers extended the screen from dugout to dugout during the 2007-2008 off-season. Regular season home attendance. References. External links, stadium site on Cardinals.com.